Hello, listeners. Our latest episode of Totes Recall, which features E.T., will start in just a moment. But before then, I want to let you know about some exclusive content we have for our patrons who go to patreon.com/totesrecall and donate $1 or more. They receive exclusive content, and this month our exclusive content is scary stories inspired by Halloween. And, you know, we get a little off track. And big cats, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are scary stories in it, but there's also a lot of just like other, like what you've come to expect from the four of us.
General clarification of what each other's talking about.
Yeah, like turning on one member of the podcast for arbitrary reasons.
Yep, that happened to me. And it wasn't about space.
That's true.
At any rate, we welcome you to enjoy our exclusive content. We have new content every month, and we really appreciate our patrons and all of our listeners. So thanks a lot, and now let's get ready for our episode to begin.
Totes Recall.
Welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we can't remember. Watch that movie and eat blood.
No! Pizza and salad.
Blood, red sauce.
Eyeballs and brains that are spaghetti.
We got spaghetti this time?
And then watch a movie again. Mamma mia, my name is Dan.
This is
That was a
Molly.
weird turn. I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our Halloween movie this episode is E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial. Is that a full? Is it the full? Is that
I believe
I
it is.
believe it is
Yeah.
E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial.
A lot of punctuation.
On AFI's 100 Greatest
Wow.
Films, which I've seen all of them.
Wow.
And BD.
Wow.
Okay.
I think what the listener might not know at home is that E.T. is part of our origin story.
Is it?
That we've never watched it. Yes, because at that fateful Halloween party,
Yeah.
where we all started talking about movies that we didn't remember very well, which would ultimately become a podcast. My memory is of
Totes
the
Recall,
end of
the podcast,
E.T.
Totes Recall.
Yep. .com.
Totesrecall.com. What? Was that I remembered the end of E.T. has he and his mom reuniting.
Yep.
Like very specifically, that's what happens at the end. But that's because I saw it when I was probably 8 years old. And that's obviously what happens is your mom comes and gets you.
Right.
But that's not exactly how it ends.
Like she's picking him up from soccer
Yeah,
practice.
I mean, you know, like who's going to come get you when you've
Right.
been left behind on an alien planet?
Yep, makes sense.
Your mom.
Is E.T. the Home Alone of aliens?
Oh.
Does
That's
that mean
really
the U.S.
sad.
government
Bold
is
bet.
the...
Is that your bold bet?
Yes.
The bold big man Baggins BT bet?
B.E.T. bet?
Oh, BT.
Oh.
BT?
Oh, you're going to put the E.T. in Beth.
Bold E.T. bet.
Ah, bold ET Beth.
So the U.S. government is...
The Wet Bandits?
yeah.
Sure.
Wow.
I
Okay.
love it.
Yeah.
And then the kids are the old man
Oh,
might be
I've
a
lost
killer,
the
but is
picture.
actually God, or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay,
Oh,
great.
geez. I think this movie came out in 1983. And the
Okay.
reason I think that is because I think I was 8 years old and I went to summer camp that summer.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there, everyone had already seen E.T.
Oh, the worst.
And they were
no.
talking about it, and I couldn't get enough of Reese's Pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically heard every scene of this movie described before I ever saw it. And so right when we got out of summer camp, my sister and I begged to go see E.T. so we could catch up with everybody.
Yeah.
And we happened to be visiting my grandparents. So my grandmother came with us. And I don't know that she had seen a movie in a theater for at least 20 years.
Wow.
The only other movie I think she ever saw in a theater was Driving Miss Daisy, because some of it was filmed in the Georgia town where she was from.
Oh.
So it's a pretty big deal. Anyway, we went.
Also, that Morgan Freeman is pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know what? I don't know. Anyway,
I know.
we-
He's a hottie.
I mean, he is objectively, obviously.
Yes.
But I just don't know if that was a draw for my grandmother as much as seeing. Well, and to give you an idea, so we finally see this movie, and in fact, it is exactly as every scene had been described to me.
Good job, kids.
So it was kind of boring in that way. But as we left, I distinctly remember walking through the parking lot, and the only comment my grandmother made was, "Well, it wasn't very realistic."
Didn't your mom make a similar comment about a movie we just watched that really cut you down?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
but
was
that's
Ferris
different.
Bueller. That was a different cut down. That was
Okay.
when I was a teen. No, my grandmother was honestly saying the nicest thing she could think of.
Yeah.
Okay. But your
Which
your
she
family's
basically-
big on documentaries only. That's like,
Sounds like it, yeah.
Only if
Just like
it really
the
happened.
news, Maybe just like a news broadcast.
Yeah, basically.
Great.
well, I'll bet a year as well. 82.
Great. I'm going to say 84.
That's a good one.
I'm going to say 86.
Wow.
Keep
Whoa.
it spicy.
That is very
spicy.
spicy.
Very spicy.
Because that's the only one with the 2 years away from, right? No.
What?
Who knows what I just did? But I guessed 86,
That's all that matters.
and I'm being bold ET about it.
Hold it T.
T-H.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what the B stands for in BKG.
Bold.
Bold.
Boldy T.
Boldy
Well-
T, KG.
Oh, I see.
Okay. It's almost spelling my name if we put an H at the end.
Yeah.
That's what she did.
I made that joke like.
But what was the I heard I was adding on
You are
I was
heard, Molly.
I was saying what you were saying. But what's the H at the end? Did you say that part?
No.
Well,
Holdings.
so bold
Incorporated.
ET Holdings Incorporated.
Yeah.
Beth Inc.
Yeah. Boldy
Okay.
T Holdings Incorporated.
Got it.
LLC.com.
Yep. I don't remember the first time I saw this movie,
I don't either.
Me neither.
but I do remember that it was after I had become obsessed with Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces.
Oh, great controversy on the internet about
Oh,
what to
really?
call these.
What do you mean?
I call them Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, some
Yes.
people say Reese's Pieces.
No.
That's stupid.
Because it's Reese's peanut butter cups.
Also,
some
the
people
word
call them
pieces is
Reese's.
spelled pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's not spelled weird.
I feel like if anything, if you said Reese's and then Reese's Pieces came out, you'd be like, oh, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. But some people double down and then say Pieces instead.
Yeah.
But I loved that candy as a kid. That's what I would get every single time I went to a movie
I also liked
or
It's a good
anything like
candy.
that. And then I
Pieces.
remember somebody commenting about, they're like, oh, you're just like E.T. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Reese's Pieces to me were always like a cooler version of M&M's.
Agreed.
Because they were like the same
Agreed.
shape, as everyone knows. But like different.
Yeah.
Like peanut butter.
Yeah.
Novelty.
Yeah.
Like in your head,
I like the hipster version.
are Reese's Pieces, M&M's, and Skittles all in the same category?
Yes.
Skittles are out.
I mean,
Really?
as a child, yes. But
Yes.
now Skittles are abominations against the human race.
Agree.
I
Skittles
love
are terrible.
Skittles.
So
I just
sugary.
ate Skittles literally like yesterday.
Wow.
Wow.
Good, great.
I
amazing.
I'm
don't.
glad for you that you can find joy in them.
I
Yeah,
don't like
I really
a.
do.
I don't like a not chocolate candy.
Just across the board.
That
What?
might be true. That's,
No.
that's very
We
bold.
were just talking about gummy worms before this
Oh
podcast.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if we
I don't like a hard not chocolate candy.
Skittles are chewy.
Yeah. I think you're going to have a tough time with this one, Dan.
You like a gummy.
I like a gummy.
sure.
I don't like a Skittles. I don't really like runts, except that they're weird.
Okay?
Same goes for nerds.
Yep.
Nerds are great. I love every candy.
Oh, well, great.
What about a
Bold.
Necco wafer?
Yep.
Ooh, yeah. What about
Wow.
Yeah.
What about those weird
Black licorice
black
things.
and orange
I
ones?
hate black licorice.
Aha!
So you found it.
Nailed it.
Boom.
I don't like black licorice and I don't like circus peanuts.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like, what are those Boston baked beans?
You
Oh, yeah,
are
those are gross.
poking so many holes into your earlier statement.
What about
But I
malt
like-
balls? I also hate malt balls.
Really?
I do like them if they're not disgustingly stale.
Well,
well,
that's fair.
sure, that's fair.
I mean, that's
But
kind of their
sometimes-
whole thing.
But the thing about malt balls is like usually when you eat them, they're sitting on the shelf for a long time
Yep.
because people don't like them that much.
Yeah.
And then the center gets really stale and hard to eat.
Yeah.
Although sometimes you're treated with a Whoppers of like one that didn't like fully puff.
Whoppers.
And so it's
yeah.
like this weird, different texture. I always find that like to be a prize, even though I don't particularly like it. I just like that
You're
it's
like,
different.
I found the one.
Yeah.
I had trouble thinking about Whoppers, the candy, and the Burger King sandwich. McDonald's. Our Burger King Trash Talk podcast is still available.
Oh, yeah.
Check our Patreon.
Yes.
I forget what tier it is.
Patreon.com/.
Goal. It's a goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I liked a Whopper hamburger
Burger?
sandwich
Uh-huh.
when I was a youth who ate meat.
Yes.
Hamburger sandwich?
Yeah, sorry. I think I just stole that bit from another podcast.
He's also making.
My apologies. But I liked a Whopper hamburger, but I didn't like a Whopper candy, and for some reason, like I just couldn't hold both of them in my brain at the same time because they're so different, but both food, sort of.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing? Like, pick a different name, one of you.
Yeah.
My mom used to always get Whoppers, and I didn't like them when I was a kid.
Sandwich?
The candy.
Yeah.
And I didn't like them when I was a kid, but I did like chocolate. So I would just eat all the chocolate off of the Whopper part.
Oh, yeah.
Throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Like an owl.
That's just surviving.
Yeah, just
That's
leaving
real.
like
Wait,
malt pellets around.
Go back.
like-
Like an owl?
Yeah. Owls regurgitate the bones and fur of their prey.
Sure. Beth didn't barf up the malt pulp, right?
No, but I did
She
spit
spit
them
it out.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's a
I'll
different
accept it.
process. It's
I'll
a different
accept it,
process.
counselor, but watch yourself.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
What I remember about ET was I think it was
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the first one of the first big cross promotional pieces, like the Reese's Pieces commercials were very prominent.
Like at the time of like it was
Yeah,
like
as the
synced
movie
up
came
with the
out,
release of
synced
the
up.
movie. Okay.
It wasn't like to Jurassic levels, Jurassic Park levels,
Yeah.
but it was definitely there. And I remember desperately wanting an ET stuffed toy,
Oh, yeah.
and they were real ugly.
I'm sure they
I
were.
felt very conflicted because I got the thing that I'd asked for, but it creeped me out.
Yeah.
Were they also the ones that were not soft? Like they were kind of vinyl-y?
Yeah, they were like brown vinyl
Yeah.
that were wrinkly. It
Yeah.
looked like a hairless dog.
believe- were not a good-
I
I
believe
mean-
we talked about this in the Gremlins episode
Did we?
Oh, we did.
because it
We
was
did.
in the background of the toy store.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
This might be controversial. E.T. is not cute.
Oh,
I don't think that's
I think
controversial.
he is cute.
I'm
But I
gonna-
think he's cute the way Wally is cute. It's through his sounds.
How dare you?
No, it's through the sounds that
Wally
he makes.
and
And
E.T.
the
are
way,
definitely in the same camp.
yeah, for
What?
sure. They're basically the same.
Look at their heads. They got a skinny neck and
Oh.
a big flat hammerhead.
With giant eyes.
And they waddle around.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Wally is the cutest thing in the
It's
world.
the robotic version of E.T.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
but
Molly's
E.T.
back.
doesn't do that thing with his eyes where it's like beep 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 beep, and then he has his little hat. And he's like do 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 do, and he
Sure,
does a
but
little
E.T. gets
dance.
But he gets
Drunk.
drunk.
What?
It is so cute. Oh, and Drew Barrymore is so cute in
E.T.
this
gets
movie.
drunk?
Yeah.
Yes, he runs into a refrigerator.
And like pops up a bunch of Coors Heavies, I think.
Yeah.
What's that Coors Heavy?
Literally all I remember about this movie is that E.T. gets sick for reasons.
Yeah.
And then they have to fly their ET bicycles to the forest.
Yeah.
And then not his mom comes. And then somewhere many minutes before any of this, he and the kid run into each other and like scream at each other. That's all I remember.
Do you remember
about
the
this movie.
hazmat suits? Because that part was scary.
That's-
Yeah, that's when he's
scary.
sick, right? Because he's like all fucked up in the tent.
Yeah, he's gray.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
because the government people find out about him.
Right.
I don't remember how he gets sick, though.
E.T.
I think because he doesn't have any of the foods or nutrients.
Oh,
that
he needs like phone home food or whatever.
But doesn't
Oh,
he?
because of the speak and spell.
Can't he like phone home food?
Yeah, phone home food.
Can't
Order
he like
delivery?
doesn't he take things on?
Oh, yeah.
Like people's emotions and things like
That's
that.
why Elliot
Yes.
Elliot.
gets sick too.
Elliot.
And the plant, there's like a flower
Oh, yeah.
that also gets sick. And then
What?
when
Is he like synced up with the flower?
He has a heart light
I know
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
And a
because
finger light.
of Neil
Yeah,
Diamond.
he has a lot of lights.
Yeah. Oh, he's so sweet.
He phones home.
Phone's home.
Using a speak and spell that he reorients to be a phone.
and like a circular saw blade. I remember that.
What?
Elliot gets cut by just a loose circular saw blade.
Yeah.
I think that's the right
It's the 80s.
tool term.
Uh-huh. Is it a saw that's a circle?
It's yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
Yeah. And those things look nasty. They look like, they're like the saw blades like you see in booby trap situations.
Right,
Medieval
Ugh.
castle booby trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra-Terrestrial.com.
Why is there a saw blade?
Just they're in the garage.
Oh.
It's garage stuff.
80s garage stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember even as a kid, like being like, that looks sharp and dangerous. Like the image of that saw is burned into my brain, and I was always very careful with it.
Wow.
So, but he cuts himself on it,
Yeah, because they're like
and then
looking for junk
E.T.
to phone home.
I
heals him.
think
Yeah.
so,
Oh,
yeah.
'cause
He's like
got
a magic thing.
Magic phone home powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he becomes, and Drew Barrymore dresses him up
Yeah.
because she's like 5 in this movie. She's so cute.
I bet she is cute.
Yeah.
Does he have makeup on?
Yeah, I think she puts makeup on.
Wally
him.
has makeup on too
Yeah.
at some point.
Just telling you.
All right.
Prepare yourself.
Now I'm going to watch this movie only thinking about Wally.
That sounds fair. He has cute sounds, and he hides in the closet with everything else. We had that puzzle.
Yes.
Did y'all ever have that puzzle?
Where he's
That
hiding with
image
the-
of not Wally, sorry, E.T. among all the stuffed animals hiding from the mom.
No.
I did not have that puzzle.
No.
but that
but I know
sounds
the
like a
scene.
familiar scene.
Ooh, Molly's hindsight bet.
Okay.
Mom is a hardworking working mom.
Yeah.
Single mom?
I don't know. I feel like she might be single. I don't remember the dad at all.
Jaquette's bet we are going to love this family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Did
the
you-
family's doing it.
I think so. Did you write down my bet about the mom though? Because I think she is. I think she's a working mom and she might be a single mom.
Does
Interesting.
she? Okay. And then Elliot has an older brother.
Yes.
And a younger sister who's Drew Barrymore.
Yep.
Is older brother a turd?
Kind of, but they all come together.
Beth's bold bet. He wears like a muscle shirt.
Who? Old
The
brother?
older brother.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think he's like a muscly dude.
I feel like they always are like, I'm an older brother. I like sit on a bench press.
Oh.
Does he have a bench press?
No, I think he's more of a. He's not like a total nerd, but I think he's like not.
I might be thinking of
Unsympathetic.
the movie Unbreakable.
I think you're thinking of Chet
What?
from
Maybe
Weird
thinking of
Science.
American
It might
Beauty.
be. What's the one where they're like, let's see how strong you are?
Who?
Unbreakable.
Okay.
Where the kid keeps putting
Yeah.
like paint cans of cement
Yeah.
on his
Yeah.
bells.
Okay, I was thinking of
And
Unbreakable.
then he's like, hey, boss, how often I've been sick? He's like, okay, you'll get a raise. No, how often I've been sick? Never.
Are you
I'm
just
unbreakable.
What is
summarizing the
happening?
movie Unbreakable right now?
Okay, but how does he not know that he's never been sick?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Isn't he
He
supposed
should
to
have
be
known.
like confused and kind of like dumb? Isn't that the whole point?
How dumb, though.
I don't know. Anyway, in the movie E.T.,
Yeah.
is Elliot like a weird kid, and that's why he relates to E.T. the Extraterrestrial because he's like
a
an awkward
sensitive
loner?
kid. He's a sensitive kid.
But is he
got
like a
friends, though,
loner?
right?
Does he have
He's like
friends?
a
Does
total
he have-
loner.
No, they're out on their bikes,
Yeah, but do
riding
they
around
all
the
come
neighborhood.
together at the end through the power of E.T. magic, or are they already friends?
I think they're already
I
friends.
think they're already friends.
Okay.
It's got a very like Stranger Things vibe.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, Stranger Things.
flip that around.
Yeah.
Fair.
But the reason they go out that particular night is because it's Halloween,
Yeah, that's
so
why
they
we're
can
doing
dress
this
up
movie.
ET.
He's dressed up like a
That's why we
ghost.
picked this movie. Yes.
Does he wait? So when they meet E.T. it's Halloween?
No,
Oh,
no. That's when they try to make the big escape. They
Oh.
they steal him somehow from the government.
No, they've got him the whole time because he just shows up. He's like rubbling in the trash.
Like the
that's when they
Hamburg.
scream in the alley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Drew Barrymore's like, "You want some pizza?" Jaquette's bet there's pizza in
Are
this.
you talking about the
Ooh, nice.
beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean like for when
Oh.
they're trying to make the escape from the government people after they're in the hazmat suits.
Oh,
You think that's before? That happens before they Halloween.
Yeah, the night of Halloween is when they go out, and that's when they put him in the basket and dress him as a ghost
Okay.
so that they'll all fit in.
And then he bikes into the moon.
Yes. Well, he bikes past the moon.
he ambles by.
Into the moon, but it's fine. Just kidding.
I get it. I get
He
what
crashes
you did
into
there.
the moon, falls to Earth, and then gets picked up by his mom.
Yeah, that seems
Yeah.
inefficient. If he's already on the moon, that'd be way less fuel.
There is a line that got changed in this movie for its some number of years release. Let's say 25.
Okay.
They removed someone making a joke about terrorists.
Oh.
Didn't they also
post 9/11 world.
digitally alter the government weapons into walkie-talkies?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Is that real?
I think so.
Were they like submachine guns before?
I don't know. I assume they were smaller guns because then they could just make them look like walkie-talkies. I feel like submachine guns would be difficult to make look like a walkie-talkie.
Well, 80s walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Why? What's the point of that?
I don't know, because it was whatever, like Dan saying, it was whatever year, and Steven Spielberg and Amblin or whatever were just like, oh, guns, and they like decided to.
All right. I mean, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know if that is
but
true.
it just
or,
seems like a weird thing to change.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, that was
it's
sort
not
of,
like everyone's like, oh, don't put guns in movies
well,
anymore.
that was part of the criticism at the time. It was just like, this seems like weird lip service that accomplishes nothing. But
Yeah.
whatever, it's your movie.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, George Lucas was making all those changes to his movie.
I mean, maybe they were both just like, let's see what we can do.
put that
Do you
slug
think
in
he
there.
was like, I want to make a change to mine?
Yeah, he was just jealous of being able to play with computers.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which
he's-
one? Spielberg?
Yeah, he saw George playing with his computers and changing his old movies. He's like, oh, I can do that.
Steven? George says he's putting a big slug in his first Star Wars movie. Steven?
Steven, get away from the computer, Steven.
No,
Steven.
that's George.
That's
George
George's
has changed his
computer.
movie, not yours. Don't. No.
I'm excited to see how many like Steven Spielberg-esque shots are in this.
Yeah, because this was like, I feel like this was like the big one, right? In terms of like what people think of as like a Spielbergian, like 80s movie. Like this is like the prime core of like an entire culture, like pop
Yeah.
cultural event, right?
Yeah.
Was this like his next one after Jaws?
I don't know where it falls in his filmography.
Might have been his next like big. Well, no. When did the Indiana Jones movies happen?
Oh,
Who
Were they
knows?
in the earlier 80s?
yeah.
This
That
feels
seems right.
prior to Indiana Jones, but what do I know?
Well, probably before and after.
Yeah,
Right?
Because
You are right.
we watched the first one,
Sure did.
so check the tapes. Tweet at us.
Oh, is it sad that I cannot remember when that movie came out?
No.
No, that's not
No.
sad. That's
It's
like the
on
whole
brand.
point of this.
Okay. got it.
All right.
I mean, we all have terrible memories.
Yeah.
Tweet at us, Indy then ET or ET then Indy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like there was at least one indie movie before this.
Probably,
I'm always bet.
right?
There was at least one.
We'll look it up.
That
Yeah.
seems
Sorry,
right.
tweeters. Too late. Molly's
Oh.
going to look it up. You've got time.
I want to talk about the ET video game for the
Atari.
Atari.
Yeah.
One of the most notoriously hard and bad video games of a generation.
Correct.
We had it and we played it.
How was it?
I agree it was terrible and hard.
Do you agree in your deep California heart that it should have been dumped into a landfill and buried for decades?
Oh no, I mean
Okay.
it should still exist. It's a cultural relic.
Well, they did.
But you
that.
just like walked around and had to like pick up little pills
Okay.
that were to make your phone home.
Are you sure
But
they
the
were
government was
pills,
trying to shoot you.
or were they Reese's Pieces?
Oh.
They were probably Reese's Pieces.
But they were
it's
just
like
pixels,
Atari.
right?
So it's like a square, a white square.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it was
Couldn't
hard.
he like stretch his head out or something? Wasn't that like the one move you
Oh,
could do?
That sounds right.
Yeah, that seems exactly right.
Yeah.
What made it so bad?
It was just poorly made, right?
I think part of it was that it was really hard. Like it was
Like the
very hard to
controls were
avoid the government
unresponsive?
agents.
Oh.
And
So it was like
wasn't-
impossible to beat.
yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was clear what you had to do. I mean, I played this game when I was probably like 6 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have definitely not played it since
Right.
then.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I know I'm right. It's hard and bad.
Yeah.
I remember
I-
if they ever. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that when I was like really little, like video games, the objectives of video games meant nothing to me. It was just like, oh, it was my turn to hold the controller.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember if they ever unearthed that pile of cartridges that they supposedly just dumped into a landfill somewhere.
Oh, they like sales were bad. They just buried them all.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the
can't-
idea behind Urban Outfitters for a while?
What?
What?
That they would find all this stuff? Like that's sort of the origin of the original store?
They were freegans.
They were what?
Freegans.
I still don't know what that is. But that's okay. Just setting that
You
aside.
get all your food for free out of like dumpsters and stuff.
oh,
But he's
yeah.
saying like freegan of consumer goods.
Yeah.
No, that they would try to figure out how to acquire all this genuinely vintage stuff that was made in mass and then sell it in their stores.
Oh.
I feel like there was some stuff. I don't know. You
I
know
could,
what?
I could buy that as their original thing, and then when they expanded,
And
they
some
just started,
Ray Kroc came in and was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I got
what if you
something
make
for
your own
you."
vintage stuff?
Yeah, and then we steal from artists on the internet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, come at us, Urban Outfitters.
Yeah.
But they also now have vintage stuff again. Isn't
Haven't
that
they
weird?
always had vintage stuff?
I don't remember them having vintage stuff.
feel like
I
they've
before,
always
but-
remember
had
when I
some
first
vintage
walked into
stuff.
an Urban Outfitters, I was so angry because all the stuff that I had felt like I'd found or collected or was sort of unique to my taste or whatever was just in the store and readily available. Anybody could buy it.
Yep.
I was like, what was the point? But yeah.
I associate it with this person I went to high school with because she worked there and she would say it like Urban Outfitters. Like her tongue would like jut out of her mouth. And I just remember my friends and I being like, oh my God.
Did she have a tongue piercing?
Maybe. I don't remember.
That would explain it.
I do remember. Yep. I'm not going to talk shit about this person.
All right. Well,
I'll just say I remember things about her.
Wow.
Wow.
things.
Wow.
Sounds like next bonus content is Beth talks shit about her
Yes.
childhood friends.
Yes. If we get... Do you have any student loans?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Oh,
I have
must
student
be
loans.
nice.
It
You
is
have student
nice.
loans?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about this and we'll put it up later. But when we get the correct amount of money in Patreon to pay off our student loans, we will talk shit about all the people we hated in high school.
Sure. I'll do that.
Wow.
I didn't hate that many people.
I didn't
I'll save
either.
it for the bonus.
I had a nemesis. I don't mind saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Get at us on patreon.com/pay our student loans.
No.
Elizabeth Warren, you got a plan for our Patreon?
We should tweet at her, see if she
Yeah.
wants to contribute.
Great.
What's she doing with her money right now? Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, she's not using it for anything.
So E.T., the
Yep.
extraterrestrial, he goes back to his mom's home
At the end.
at the end.
Yeah.
We literally
After-
have
oh,
like
I wanna
he's
go back
there and
to-
then he's not.
Yeah. Let's go back and talk about how he gets drunk because we breezed over that. I don't know if
Elliot
there's more
has to go
say.
to school.
Elliot goes to
Elliot
school.
get drunk?
Yes.
No.
What?
He
Sort of.
does?
Oh,
because
yeah.
E.T. gets drunk.
E.T.
Oh,
and
they're,
Elliot
like,
are linked
bonded.
from the saw blade incident.
Uh-huh.
And so when E.T. gets drunk off of what I think are Coors Heavies,
Nice.
Is that a real thing? A Coors Heavy, or is it just like regular Coors?
well, yeah.
Are we
but
talking about the banquet style? Was that what we're talking about?
well, we're talking about, so your commonly known Coors is a Coors Light.
Right.
Right.
So a normal Coors, like you say Coors, people think you're talking about Coors Light.
Yeah.
No one thinks that.
So you say Coors Heavy.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
banquet.
But
It's
it's
like
not
now
like
you say
on.
banquet, hipster.
You say banquet?
Yeah.
Really?
Why? What does
You're
that?
the hipster if you
Here,
know.
I don't know.
What does
Just
that
here.
mean?
Coors Banquet or just straight up banquet?
I probably Coors banquet.
In Memphis and Atlanta, you just say Coors, and people assume you mean a real Coors. And then you have to say Coors Light if you mean
but
Coors Light.
this is Minnesota, so it's all of the mainstream beers. You always mean the light one, unless you say otherwise.
Yeah.
Really?
Taste the Rockies. Coors Light.
Also, that guy is probably a monster. So
Probably.
maybe don't taste the Rockies.
Don't taste the Rockies.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like he's contributed to a lot
E.T.
of
gets
problematic.
drunk.
Okay.
And then Ellie gets drunk at school, and I think this is what I'm curious to see is like E.T. is then watching some old movie, maybe like a Fred Astaire,
Just like Home Alone.
Ginger Rogers situation.
Yeah.
Because there's a kiss that happens, and then he like kisses the girl in his class
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
while they're dissecting frogs,
That
that
seems
seems
right.
right.
Wait. So he
and or lets all the frogs loose.
Both.
Wait. So E.T. uses E.T.'s bond. He is experiencing a movie, and his E.T. magic makes Elliot reenact the movie.
They're
Yeah.
totally empathetic with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing.
But
Like,
he
shouldn't he
controls
just
his actions too.
shouldn't Elliot just be like feeling something nice about Fred Astaire and Ginger Roger instead of just like physically moving his body in ways he doesn't intend to?
Well, I don't know. We'll just have to let E.T. convince us.
Maybe they're both trying to understand romantic
Kissing is,
love,
maybe.
Yeah.
And E.T. doesn't have anyone nearby.
and he acts on it.
Wait, is there a scene where E.T. tries to like kiss a cat or something?
Oh,
There is a cat,
here for
isn't
that.
there?
There's
There
a
is
cat,
a
and the cat is not cool with E.T.
No.
Why would it be? It's barely. Most cats aren't even cool with like strange people,
Yeah.
let alone new species.
Oh, I just can't wait to see him run into their refrigerator. I remember when I was a kid, that was the funniest thing ever.
He runs into it, like
He's
literally
like super
runs
drunk. The
into
mom
it?
comes home early.
Oh,
And E.T. is super drunk, and just when you
like,
think she's
"Rubble,
going to see him,
rubble,
she
rubble."
opens up the refrigerator,
Uh-huh.
and he runs into the refrigerator and falls down.
I
and she's
see.
so like busy that she doesn't notice.
I took what you were saying to mean that he literally ran into the refrigerator,
Like
and
a
the
raptor.
refrigerator was full of beer, and that is why he gets drunk.
Oh no, this is
Oh,
after
okay.
he's drunk. But if you think about it, like I think what's appealing about it is like 2-year-olds walk around like they're drunk, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's just very kid-like.
Yeah, he's adorable. I'm fully on team etiscute.com.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I just remember him being very wrinkly.
He is. He's like a naked mole rat with
Sounds
eyeballs.
Cute. Sounds cute.
And
Big
also,
eyeballs.
what does he say?
Robble, robble, robble.
Pretty sure another bold bet. He never says robble, robble, robble.
Okay, well, we'll see.
We'll see.
He does squeak. Like,
Yeah,
I can't make the noise.
nice little sounds.
Nope. That was. Oh, that's good.
That's not a
Yeah.
squeak.
But like when he runs into the.
E.T. phone home.
Robble, robble, robble.
Elliot.
Robble, robble, robble. Reese's Pieces.
Rabble.
What should we rate this movie?
Well, the ratings that we're going to use are Reese's Pieces, Robble, Robble, Robbles.
And could you just quick explain to me what that is?
Oh, yeah. It is Reese's Pieces that are sentient and say Robble, Robble, Robble.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
And they're like individual pieces, so like
Yeah,
1
individual.
to 5 pieces.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
So okay, I see. So the higher rating, it's like a chorus of Robble Robbles.
Robble, Robble, Robbles,
Great,
yeah.
great. Pop culture tells me that this movie is a treasure and a delight for all ages. But I don't trust pop culture, and I'm a cynic. So I'm going to ride my bike to the Coward Moon and say
Wow.
3 Reese's Pieces. Robble, robble, robble.
Wow, that was cowardly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, hindsight bet. I think it does pass the Bechdel Wallace because I think the mom talks to Drew Barrymore.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. I don't think we actually even thought about. We hadn't even bet on that yet.
No.
Yeah,
So it's just a regular old bet.
that's a regular old bet.
Yeah, I like that, Pat.
I also like that bet.
Yes. Agreed.
I assume Mom has a name and not just Mom.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
She's
that's
in
what
it a
could fit.
lot.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it is
she's a
an 80s
businesswoman.
movie.
Do you think her name is Ellen? It
I think
seems
it's
like
like
her
lady.
mom's name.
It's like mom lady.
Whose
not
name
an
is
E?
Ellen? There's a movie where like the mom's name is Ellen. Is that Jaws?
I don't know.
I
It
think
could be
Jaws. Okay, hindsight bet.
Oh,
The mom in Jaws, her name is Ellen.
great. Write that down.
I think this movie is going to be good.
Okay.
I don't know that I'm going to think it's great, but I'm going to think it's good. So I'm going to say 4
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces, Robble, Robble, Robble.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good job.
I'm excited. I think this is going to be great. It's going to be a fun trip down memory lane. I love movies where kids are riding their bikes around town. Mm-hmm. Since I was a kid who rode his bike around
Sure.
town.
Right. But they're
and-
like East Coast more, right? Like
Are
they're
they?
more. Aren't they more like? I don't know. Aren't they more like the northeast
North Atlantic?
wilderness
Sitch?
Atlantic?
I don't know.
area? I don't know.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will find out.
5 Reese's
Wow.
Pieces, Robble, Robble, Robble.
Would you
ETQ.com.
be so bold as to predict this will be a romp?
I don't know about a romp.
Okay.
I think it's a little.
Gets too real?
I think it's
it's
a little too real
scary.
for a romp. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to give it 4.5 Reese's Pieces, Robble, Robble, Robbles.
Ooh, breaking a piece.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's kind of brutal if they're sentient. But anyway,
No, they're like worms.
they're
It's
like
fine.
worms. It's
Yeah.
fine. So
Do you
the
think that worms-
reasoning is I think it's going to feel a little bit long to me. And I think I'm going to get genuinely scared by those government people again.
No.
But I'm so excited to see the ending and to see who comes and picks up E.T.
But what if they have walkie-talkies instead of guns?
Well, that'll make it slightly less scary, but I think it was the whole tenting of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tubes.
whole
the,
thing.
like,
Tubes.
tubes and suits.
Tubes and suits.
I feel like they shoot it from like low down too, right? So it makes everyone look really big and scary.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. And E.T. is not an animal, but I feel like I'll have all that animal danger feeling.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because he's
just
so innocent and
yeah.
can't control these human.
and
You
it's
can't
like
really talk.
in
super
an
well.
environment that is
Yeah.
not his own.
Yeah, but fortunately, I know how it ends pretty much.
Sure. Are you gonna lose your mind if a government agent sticks a walkie-talkie in his mouth?
I will lose my mind. It will be as bad as Norman the calf.
Oh, Norman.
Poor Norman. That was excessive.
Yeah.
I don't mean to bring it up, but
Hindsight, traumatic remembrance. Molly lost her goddamn mind. Yeah. Put a gun in Norman the calf's
what
mouth.
was that movie movie though? What was it called?
City
City
Slickers.
City Slickers. Oh, no, thank
Did
you.
not enjoy.
Did not like. But I think I will like this one.
Great.
That's why I gave it a 4.5. Brought it back.
Nice.
And with that, we're going to press pause, go eat 2 pizzas, 2 salads while we watch E.T., and we'll be right back. And we're back. We just watched 1 hour and 55 minutes of some pretty intense alien and family dynamics. It was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
Way more intense than I remember it being.
E.
Not even any
period,
camping.
T. Period. The extra-terrestrial.
A lot of punctuation.
Nailed
in this movie. An intense amount of punctuation. Came out in 1982.
So
I nailed it.
yeah, you sure did.
Nice.
Which means I was even younger than I thought watching this
one.
movie in the theaters.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to try to summarize it in 60 seconds or
Oh,
less?
yeah. I do.
Okay.
Yeah. And go.
Okay, we start in the forest, great trees, redwood trees. Alien ship comes down, they're sciencing around, doing flashlights in the bushes. And then a bunch of Chevy Blazers come out and jangle their keys, and the aliens freak out and get back in the ship and leave, but E.T. is left there because he can't make it back to the ship in time. So now we see a family they're playing D&D or something, a bunch of punk
It's
kids.
a lot of detail.
30
for 60
seconds.
Oh,
seconds.
shit. Hey, they find the alien. Alien like mesmerizes Elliot, and then they're bonded. Halloween happens. E.T. tries to phone home with a bunch of junk that works well. Then Elliot almost dies.
10 seconds.
So the G-men come, and then it seems like E.T.'s dead, but he's not, and they use magic bicycles and get back to the ship. And his mom is there.
Time. You got there.
Wow. That was a close call.
That was really, that's a very detailed start.
I mean, you got to talk about those trees, right?
Talk about
Gotta-
those
Yeah.
redwoods.
Gotta give
They
props to
were
the
trees
great
of my
trees.
youth.
Great trees.
Yeah.
They're blown in the wind.
We got to see some
Very
of the
majestic.
some of the freestanding exterior of some burnt out redwoods,
Yeah.
Those are
which
cool.
is actually the part that is alive, which is why they can do that.
Wow.
The outside is alive?
That's the part that
Cool.
is continuing to grow.
Yeah.
That's why they're hollowed out redwoods sometimes because they
Wait,
burn.
that
but-
part is really still alive? That's cool.
or at least it was alive the most.
Most.
So it's
Okay,
like
alive.
sure.
taking its sweet time to stop being alive, if nothing
Okay.
else.
Yeah.
No, I think they can actually just stay alive as long as the root structure is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the
also-
movie.
Well, let's talk about more about trees
I
first.
have one more, can I
'cause-
share one more thing?
Yeah.
So that I find fascinating.
one. It's like the salads of the natural world.
Oh
Molly.
man.
So trees have like a theoretical maximum height they can reach
Yeah.
based on the force between their ability to shoot water to the top and gravity's pull down.
Yeah.
So no tree can get higher than that point because they couldn't get water to their top anymore.
Interesting.
That's how tall redwoods are.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Trees at the bottom.
Trees of the Bomb. Read that book that you made me read. Not made me read, gave me to read.
Hidden Life of Trees?
No, that one too. But the crazy one where the guys are like swinging around in trees.
Oh, Wild Trees,
that
I
was
think.
good. It was good stuff. Anyway,
There's a tree climbing school
Just, I'm
featured
just
from
gonna
Hot
put
Lana.
it's a movie podcast.
Yeah.
Tree Lana.
It's just
Tree Lana. We wanted to answer the question, is E.T. the Home Alone of an alien movie?
oh right.
There's a lot of similarities. For example,
Yeah, I'd
in
agree
both
with
films, children knock over shelving.
Okay. Yeah,
That's true.
Yep. I wasn't even thinking
It
of
is an
that.
old timey movie reference.
Yep.
Some madcap stuff in the middle with the drunkenness and the frogs letting the frogs out.
Yeah.
Pizza gets ruined.
Pizza
Yep.
gets
There's
ruined.
some contraptions made of like toys and
Yeah.
things around the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, like more complicated than you would expect to be plausible with
Yeah.
the equipment being used.
A kid,
There's a lot of like, ah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
kid gets left behind.
Yeah.
Presumably, is E.T. a
I don't
child
think, I
No.
don't
of
think E.T. is a child.
I don't think E.T. is a child at all.
he? I mean, they
But it
refer
might have still
to,
been his mom.
It might
We
have
don't
been.
know.
I mean, it does look like an ET like alien that's wearing like a house dress.
Yeah, it does
Like
a little
the
bit.
silhouette.
At the
Yeah.
very end.
I
Yeah.
disagree. I think they all look pretty much the same. I think
Well,
ET is
Oh, that's
dressed.
racist.
They're in shadow. They're backlit.
Yeah. Well,
It's fair.
I don't think. Wait, are we divided on whether ET was a child or not?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, he could have been a teen. Like he had to be E-teen. He had to be smart enough and like know enough things to be able to build a contraption
Yeah.
to like.
He was a botanist or something.
Yeah, I think he was like a scientist.
Yeah, it was just the language barrier that made him seem naive.
And they waddled around.
Topical.
Robbled around.
He
Yeah.
did robble around though.
He
Can
really
confirm.
did look like a toddler. Like he's
Yeah.
very small and wobbly.
Fun fact:
He's adorable.
the ET suit was worn by two little people and some kid who was born without legs.
Oh, wow.
So like all the times that ET was like, I think what I read. Sorry, Molly, I'm taking your segment here a little bit. Is like anytime ET like wobbled around and then fell over, it was the kid who didn't have legs because he was just like using his hands to like
Oh, wow.
wobble around and then fall over.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had never. Yeah, it's funny because I still, in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, they just had ET show up.
Yeah. He'd come out of his trailer. It's like, oh, it's time for the refrigerator gag.
Who do you think operated his creepy hands?
Ooh, maybe it was Carlo Rambaldi,
What? Who's that?
The
designer
creator.
of ET.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think as a puppetry expert that we're familiar
Oh. I think Hank Cresthorn was
So
in charge of
You're
E.T.'s
saying
hands.
that Carlo Rambaldi was like, oh, I got this. Like he sketched it out. He's like, I've got this great idea.
I got this great idea for
Lean into it.
No.
Mamma
No.
mia,
Oh,
Carlo
no.
Rambaldi.
Sound like a vampire.
Sure.
Maybe I am.
Yeah.
All
I'm so
Dan
good at
voices
creepy. Hey.
actually lead to a
Wait, was that the
vampire.
beginning of this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fast forward. We were split, I think, in the first half of our ET would be a cute or a creep.
I still say cute.
I still say cute.
I thought he was. I think he's cute personality wise.
Oh, wow. Cute on the
Oh.
inside.
He's cute on the
Wow.
inside. But he
What a
still is
nerd.
just like a wrinkly. He's just a wrinkly, like. I don't even know.
He's very
worm?
unsettling. Like even
Yeah.
once you get to know him, like it is still sometimes unsettling.
Well, it's understandable why the mom would freak out when she
Oh, yeah.
first and finally,
Oh, sure.
even though.
Well, he's
oh
all
my
like
gosh.
ashy.
Yeah,
and
she doesn't get to
dying,
see him in like
saying
his
mom.
most adorable form, which is dressed up by Gertie.
That was for
yeah.
sure the most peak adorable when Gertie, aka Drew Barrymore, dressed him up.
And taught him to talk.
Or really, I
Yeah.
should say dressed it up. Like
Yeah,
they
we
just
don't know.
decide he's a boy
Dress them
for
up.
no reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Other than they are young men and they can only relate to other men.
Yeah.
Maybe ETs don't even have genders.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Well, we don't know, but E.T. seemed very comfortable in a wig and hat and dress
Oh, yeah.
and jewelry, which was really amazing.
Yeah, bangles and bangly.
Yep.
I forgot
Bracelets?
that like the scene where he says ET phone home, or
He's
actually he
wearing-
says ET home phone. He's
Yeah.
wearing a ring and like bracelet.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I didn't remember that the iconic scene. He was wearing a ridiculous costume.
Yeah. I was wondering while we were watching this if this played as like a horror movie at the start to audiences. Like I
Kind of,
can't
right?
break my conception of like he's our adorable friend that we love, E.T. from, because I watched it as a kid, so I don't
Right.
Yeah.
remember like the first moment of being like knowing nothing and be like, oh shit, a terror monster who's gonna kill us all.
I don't know because you see ET at the beginning and he's like picking up a plant.
Right.
That's true.
So you already know that he's like pretty gentle.
Yeah.
But it is creepy, like when he's in the backyard and all that smoke or the fog and stuff like that.
Well, it's just scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the setup is scary.
Yeah, he does a good job. He being Steven Spielberg. Breaking news.
Oh,
Steven Spielberg is pretty good at making movies.
yes. I also was thinking that. I was like, this guy could make
He did a
film.
good job of like Beth said, like he set up at the beginning, like, oh, look at this gentle creature, like it's like, oh, you already kind of feel bad for him because you watched him get abandoned by his compatriots, whatever. But then like he still does a good job of like when Elliot meets him of being like, look at how unsettling. Like he sets it up to still be this very unsettling, inhuman encounter.
Yeah.
Like when E.T. was like coming out of the fog towards the lawn chair, like it actually like weirded me out.
Yeah.
Like I was actually like, nope, that's terrible.
That'd be
Yeah.
very
When he just was
hard.
like wobbling towards the chair.
Yeah.
But I think it was also so nice to make Elliot so believable that he would go out seeking E.T. for a couple of nights. Like
For sure.
that kid goes into a cornfield
Yes.
by himself at night. It was scary.
I mean, that
Be honest with you, listeners, I had to leave the room at least twice in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. Literally like the inciting incident of the movie where E.T. is stuck in the forest and is like now he's startled by Keys and other men in Jeep Wranglers. Molly was like, what? This is horrible. This is so stupid. Why would they do this?
like
And
they
then-
didn't even do anything really except for walk around the woods with flashlights.
Yeah, but E.T. was so scared
Yeah.
that Molly like couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
Handle it.
Which, by the way, we had been calling this character Keys the whole time
It's like
because
a
they keep zooming in on the keys on his waistband, and turns out his name is Keys.
Credited as Keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found the way Mr. Spielberg, Steve,
Come on.
shot all like most of the adults, like the G-men and most of the adults and the scientists in this movie with like you see almost no one's faces,
Yeah.
and like most of it is like child eye level, like
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
mostly,
that
like
was really
their waists
cool.
that you're seeing.
Yep.
I guess it's kind of like E.T. or the children's eye level that
Yeah.
you see him, and then they're
Plus, he almost
faceless.
never shows the bad guy, right? He never shows the shark, never shows the driver in Duel.
Uh-huh.
You know?
He never shows
Nazis.
Adolf Hitler, except in the third one.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Schindler's List 3.
What?
No.
What?
No, he's talking about Indiana Jones.
Oh,
Jesus.
Jeez.
he
Wow.
doesn't show him either.
But Keys and the trucks are super menacing. And at first, I thought they were just like locals or something.
Yeah.
Like they don't even have a vibe of professionalism.
I'm still unclear if Keys was actually a G-man.
I think
or
he's a
if
scientist.
Okay.
He's like, I've been waiting for this my whole life. I think he's like Jodie Foster.
So you think he like
Yeah.
saw the ship or like knew the ship was coming because he detected it? So
Yeah.
him and his science friends
Yeah.
took their Jeeps up to the woods.
Yep.
Okay.
And then they're like, what's the deal? And then they can't find it. And then they track it down to this house.
But then like James Woods is like in charge of all the G-men.
Yeah. So he's like,
Yeah.
get all of our finest astronauts
Yeah.
to walk through suburban California
That was
and
such
surround this house.
Okay, yeah.
That was such a weird moment in the
I
movie.
loved it so much.
There's literally like the first, because we all remembered like the hazmat suits, but the first few people that come into the house
Yeah.
are wearing full on astronaut
Full
suits.
on. And
like they say NASA.
Yeah.
They've got like the reflective like
Yeah, they have like to protect them from the
Mask.
solar radiation
Yeah.
coming from the house.
And
Like,
that scene plays like a zombie movie.
yeah, all
Yeah.
of them have their
They open the door and there's an astronaut with its arms out. They back away, like
their
one
arms
opens
all
the
out?
window, making
Yeah.
zombie arms. They come in from every entrance looking like zombies, but astronaut zombies.
like,
Yeah.
why are their arms out? I just don't understand.
it was
Do you think
so
they
strange.
can't see very well out
Or there
of the
would be
helmets? They're just
somebody
kinda like,
making an
"Oh, sorry."
announcement. But I mean, this is the emotion of this movie is so thick,
Mm-hmm.
and part of it is because our good friend John Williams, aka Thick
Oh yeah,
Williams,
he's laying it on.
lays it
So
on
thick.
really thick. But there are these sequences that just go on forever.
that's a similarity between this and Home Alone.
Yes, the scenes go on forever
Beth,
and are
we get it.
completely.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to.
Heartbreaking.
I'm just making.
Because there's this beautiful scene where ET is sick and so all three kids are like hanging out and trying to comfort and be close to him. But the mom hasn't seen ET yet. Her name
Right.
is Mary. She is named
Yes,
and
thank
she
God.
does pass the Bechdel Wallace. And sometimes the kids call her Mary, which I thought was really funny. But anyway,
Drew Barrymore calls him Mary. It's
yeah, and she's like
adorable.
5.
Yeah.
So cute. Anyway, But like she walks into the room and her son is being super serious, the oldest, and he's like, please, Mom, I just need you to be cool about this, basically.
Right.
Opens the door, and this poor ashen version of E.T. reaches out his little arms and calls her mom. And it's so beautiful, but also E.T. looks creepy.
Yeah, and also
And
like
she's scared for her children.
You can understand why. Yeah, like you can totally empathize with her.
Yeah.
It's like her youngest, or not her youngest, her son who had gone missing the night before literally says to her, "I think we're dying."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ashy creature that she doesn't recognize calls her mom.
Yeah.
So there's like just two layers
Already
to
two
process
layers.
at
Yeah.
one moment, and then the astronauts start coming.
Well,
through.
that's the
Yeah.
thing, right? So this moment happens, and she's hustling the kids out,
Yeah.
and she's trying to leave, and that's when the first astronaut zombie walks in. And it's so strange that nobody would be on a megaphone or hand her a letter
Yeah.
or do anything.
like just even knock on the door.
I mean, it actually reminded me of when I was a kid, when the firefighters would come through, like the fire safety talks, and they teach you to stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
They also explained, and I remember the way they phrased it was so smart. They were like, "We know you know because you're mature, but make sure your younger siblings understand that when a fireman comes in, they're going to be wearing a big hat, and they're going to have a respirator on and big clothes, and you're going to hear the sound of the respirator."
Right.
And it can be really scary for little kids. So make sure your younger siblings are prepared that they're not going to look like a regular person.
Smart.
Oh, it was so brilliant. But anyway, these astronauts were exactly the same.
Yeah,
They're just
clearly,
terrifying.
the community had not properly educated the neighborhood children. It's
No.
like, look,
Or the alien clearing.
astronauts may be coming to your door. I know you're mature enough to know what an astronaut's going to look like.
We have to get the moon men from your house.
Can you imagine being one of their neighbors?
Oh my
like,
God.
Imagine like you just got home from work and they're just like, "Oh hi," it's like, "Oh hi, honey, I'm making grilled cheese." What's going on over at the?
Doris, that's a bunch of
phone-
astronauts going through the Mitchell's house.
First they got separated, and now this.
Wow, jeez,
But you know
that's
that
probably
phone tree
the
lit
divorce
up.
attorney.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know that was the hot goss of the day.
Oh my gosh! I can just picture
Even
all
before
those
the
moms
tubes
on
showed
those kitchen phones.
Yeah, right.
With the
Like
stretched
you will
out.
not believe what's happening over at Mary's right now.
No, seriously, astronauts.
No, I'm not high. Are
No,
you
it's Halloween.
Gladys?
Halloween was 2 days ago. I guess.
wild?
This whole thing takes place over like 5 days.
Oh, and not
right?
Yeah.
long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, ET's only down there for a couple days.
I was trying to figure out like who the actual villain is of the movie because I don't think the government is really a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like, because he's like, you're killing him, but they were already sick. They're not doing anything to like kill him other than like they put a bunch of stuff in him that they don't know.
Stressing him out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
They certainly are, but he
But
was
then
like
he's
already
healed
dying
through the
on
power
floor.
of love.
Well, no, because the spaceship was coming back.
Love of his
That's why he
family.
woke up.
Family,
Because like the
family.
signal,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, the
heart
signal.
came through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so interesting for me to, because like my memory of this movie was like the G-men are bad, scientists are bad. They come and get the tubes and
Yeah.
they try and actively experiment and cut up ET like in front of Elliot or something, and that's not at all what happens.
No.
Like
But it's
they're
still so
already
brutal.
dying before the government
yeah.
shows up.
And Keyes is made out to be the bad guy in the
The whole
beginning. They
time.
keep on like zooming in on
Yeah.
him, listening
Yeah.
in, and he's like, just like, I want
big
this
nerd.
Yeah, he's like, I want to meet the alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, like the sort of the first half of the scientists being present, like they're very actively trying to save ET's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing a bad job, but
They don't know.
it's an alien life form.
Right.
Like, but
They're-
they're
But
trying
they're
to
not
save
Best
it.
guessing.
listening to the kid.
Right.
They're not listening. And that's
Sure.
what makes them bad guys. Because the whole movie is through Elliot's eyes.
Yeah.
So I disagree on that. I think they are, I mean, from an adult perspective, I can see it, but I don't think their actions are as forgivable as the mom's. The mom seems much more relatable.
Sure.
Oh, the mom's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then once they like steal the van and run away with the alien, which still like, of course they're going to chase him down.
Yeah.
But now they more actively, for me anyway, become the villain.
Well, that's when like the James Woods character probably gets completely in charge. It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
they've taken
You've
the
had your
asset.
chance.
Yeah.
Like they've taken the asset. Now we're going into what it sees
Guns drawn
season,
mode.
Yeah.
I don't know. acquire mode. I don't know, government talk.
Get to
There
the
is a
asset.
car that says U.S. government.
So
and that's
good.
it.
And
on the
a
side.
police station wagon.
But when they run away on their dirt bikes,
Yes.
it's a pretty great chase scene.
That's
Yeah.
great. Those
They
kids are
fucking
so extreme.
Tear it up on those
Yeah.
dirt bikes.
So the Dungeons and Dragons kids at the beginning who are super mean and dismissive of Elliot and
Yeah.
of his claims,
Yeah.
in the end are part of the crew on bikes.
I appreciate that, like in Back to the Future with Biff's gang.
Yes.
I appreciate that every kid had his thing.
Oh yeah,
My God, they were amazing.
yeah.
One of the kids was wearing like a Newsies cap and then like some red
Like these, like-
sunglasses.
Like
Yeah.
But at some
narrow
point,
sunglasses.
yeah,
Yeah.
at some point he like takes them out and just like holds them in his mouth.
Yeah.
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 They're all doing it.
And then there's another kid that's got like some sweet headphones on.
Greg.
That's
His
George.
name is
Greg.
I thought that was
Greg.
Greg.
Oh, Greg, sorry.
Yeah.
Shut up, Greg.
Shut up, Greg.
Which we forgot is the catchphrase of ET. They say it at least twice.
What does Elliot say to him at one point? It's hilarious. Oh, yeah, this is reality, Greg. Oh, so good.
Greg gets
Poor
hurt pretty
Greg.
hard.
Then there's Headband Kid, who then becomes
Yeah.
Balaclava Kid as they ride their bikes away from the G-Men.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, they really tear it up.
They really do.
I remember, I don't do this anymore because now I'm an adult and I'm worried about myself.
Okay, sure.
But like, I would definitely take turns very fast and like skid my back tire as I came home into the garage and like see how fast I could stop.
Right.
It was
Whoa.
awesome.
I would not have done that.
Yeah,
I was
took
like,
a very bad fall as a 20-something-year-old
Trying to
coming down the
skid.
hill really fast, and now I
Yeah.
get nervous every time I corner too fast.
Nice. Very nice.
yeah, I always have to, I know that my bike seat is never high enough because I always have to be able to put my feet on the ground
Yeah.
in order to feel comfortable on a bike.
I'm with you. And
Yeah.
it's very hard because to get comfortable in bike riding mode.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why I drive a car.
Sorry, Earth.
Teens,
Hey, teens?
I mean, don't cool it. Get your fast bike in it now.
That's true.
Yeah.
But like,
Your
wear a
body Can't take
helmet.
it anymore. Wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. These electric scooters that I'm seeing around town,
Oh,
I'm
man.
obsessed with. But wear a helmet, scooter heads.
Yeah.
Just
And also,
I don't know, put one in your bag or something.
don't scoot on the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's
That's
illegal
for sure.
here in Minneapolis where we are.
Great.
Spoiler alert.
You're doxing us right now. Keys is going to come find us now.
Oh, gosh.
The Keys of Movie Podcast.
Let's talk about Star Wars.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
listening.
I have so many questions about Star
So,
Wars.
as we know from the prequels, ET
Yes.
creatures exist in. They have a seat in the Senate.
Galactic Senate.
in the
Yeah.
Galactic Senate.
Yes.
Are they ET creatures or they just look like ET creatures?
I mean, come on.
They
I mean-
probably are ET creatures, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like a little.
It's not like they kind of look like them. They like,
Like, are
Are
explicitly
look like
okay.
the ET.
All right. I'm just double checking.
So that is
And this happened a long time ago and
Yeah.
far away.
Correct. Before Molly was
proceed.
born.
Before Molly was
Yeah.
born.
and then so like that's okay, funny. They exist there. And then
Yeah.
in this movie, there are Star Wars toys.
They're into Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, oh, okay, here's another
ha,
funny
ha, ha,
crossover. But then the thing that
Yes.
really got me
Yes.
was ET sees a Yoda costume
Yep.
and like reacts very strongly to it and talks about going home,
And like runs
Yeah.
towards it.
leading us to believe that ET knows about Yoda, or
Yeah.
at least
Or at
whoever's
least the Yoda species.
the Yoda species.
Yep.
And I can't figure it out.
Okay.
Well, I mean, are they
So that means
descendants of
Earth is so Star Wars exists in our same
Yes, they exist in the
Galaxy,
same
universe.
universe.
yes.
Somehow,
Not the same galaxy.
someone
Right.
got licensing.
But then also
Many,
the
many
toys.
years
But
later.
then so Star Wars happened, but
Yep.
then also we made a movie about it.
Yes.
Yeah. You did like maybe
Star Wars is like a documentary.
Yeah, maybe we think that it's a documentary, or we think that it's an action film, but really
It's a
it's a
historical.
documentary.
Well, I think
Well-
it's like a sense memory that traveled over eons,
Oh.
right? Through either the Force or radio waves
Wait,
or whatever.
so there can't just be out in the universe descendants of Yoda and descendants.
No, that's what
the
I'm
ETs
saying.
and
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
like that's what Dan's trying to like get to
But
come
then
together.
also the movie exists because there's
Yeah.
the merchandising that exists in the
ET.
ET world.
right.
So both the reality of the Star Wars movie exists in the past of the ET movie, and the movie Star Wars and its subsequent merchandising exist in the world
Right.
of E.T.
Oh, so somehow through the movie they accidentally say something that's true. Wait, in a fictitious
So what I'm saying, here's what Dan's problem with this
Okay.
situation is right now.
Yeah.
Let me just quickly Dan-explain this to you.
Oh, thank you.
So Dan's saying that the Star Wars movies, as you have helpfully pointed out, happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But because of the presence of the E.T. creatures in the prequels, we are led to believe that the E.T. aliens happened in Star Wars. But in the movie we just watched, Star Wars the movie and the media franchise juggernaut exists, which means that E.T. is the descendant of the creatures that were part of Star Wars, which means Star Wars actually happened, but then also somehow George Lucas made a movie that was Star Wars.
Okay, but also Star Wars didn't necessarily have to happen for those creatures to all exist in the universe. Maybe nothing happened. See what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah. So like maybe like Yoda and his friends
Yeah.
and their future descendants all exist.
Yeah.
And
Right.
maybe E.T. and his friends all existed and exist. But maybe there was never like lightsaber battles and shit.
Oh,
So you're saying
Sure.
So the aliens,
So maybe,
aliens
yeah.
in Star Wars
Exist.
but like the
George Lucas.
story, like Luke Skywalker's not a thing.
Yeah.
Darth
Yeah.
Vader's
So
not
you're
a
saying
thing.
George Lucas in somehow learned of the existence of the Yoda creatures and the ET creatures, and that inspired him to create the Star Wars
or
movies.
in all the potential universes, what is the thing? If you had enough monkeys typing on typewriters, eventually they would write Shakespeare. One of them would.
So George Lucas is a monkey who wrote
Who has
Star
written
Wars.
Star Wars. But it doesn't necessarily mean Star Wars is true, right, or accurate. It just features these same sets of aliens.
I see. So your explanation is that these movies are just movies, but these two species of extraterrestrials are very much real and
Yes.
exist out in the world.
Exactly.
Got it.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's the part that makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Or like a couple of friends were like, I'm going to make a nod to your movie, I guess. Oh, so the screenwriter? Well,
I mean, this is a
know.
podcast, Molly. We have to
All
go
the magic out
way
of
down a rabbit hole about Star
what
Wars.
we wanted to know.
Okay, yes. The screenwriter.
So Melissa Matheson was a screenwriter,
Yes.
and she has a fascinating backstory.
Oh, here we go. Now we are officially in the segment. Molly reads Wikipedia.
Please,
Well,
if you
with-
just donate $3, if everybody donated $3 to us,
Yep.
No, to Wikipedia.
to us,
No,
us,
this,
Oh,
I like where he's going with
I'm
this.
sorry.
then we could just have a podcast about reading Wikipedia, or
Yeah.
we wouldn't read Wikipedia anymore.
Well,
I forget what we
just
promised.
I
Whoever
don't
makes that donation gets to decide.
Okay,
Oh.
great. For $3, you can decide if you want to keep Molly Reads Wikipedia as a segment or not.
Nice. And we'll take a total tally
Yeah.
once every listener has donated at least $3.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Take it away.
Oh, well. So actually, it's worse than reading Wikipedia. I've read Wikipedia, and now it's what I remember from having
yeah.
read,
This is
which is
good.
not, this is not great, you guys. But she's fascinating, and apparently it started out that she babysat for Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay.
And then he made her an assistant on one of his films and encouraged her to write a screenplay for The Black Stallion, which she did.
Okay.
And then that caught Spielberg's attention. And he, during Raiders of the Lost Ark, the filming of that movie, he told her the story he wanted. And she wrote it.
Oh.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
Like it wasn't even like, hey, why don't you write a screenplay? She just like took it and then brought a screenplay to him. Just like, here you go. Does this work?
Well, no, like I think he dictated the
Oh,
story.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was still an original story.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of the outline was his or whatever. He has a whole thing about how he credits her with E.T. Phone Home, which I'm like, isn't she credited and an Academy Award nominee for writing the whole thing?
Maybe it's like a story
don't know.
by credit for Spielberg or
maybe.
something. I don't know.
I didn't see that, but maybe they
Screenwriting
weren't doing
credits
that
are
back
weird,
then.
yeah.
They are. They're very
All
complicated.
over the place.
But I thought the screenplay was really tight, which is what I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
and I
it
thought
was.
that the parent dynamics and the kid dynamics were so spot on.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. We get a good, I like the level of real talk we get about this family.
Agreed.
It's like it's enough where it matters, but
Yep.
not so much where that's what it's about.
Yeah. Like it's enough where you believe it, but it's not like he doesn't hit you over the head with it.
Yeah. So we find out pretty early on that dad is out of the picture. at least currently.
He's in Mexico.
He's in Mexico with Sally.
with Sally.
And
And
he doesn't even like Mexico.
yeah. And mom is not happy about it.
No.
Ooh,
Poor thing is just heartbroken.
I was really connecting with the mom
Yeah.
more than I ever have.
Yeah.
Probably because I now have a child.
Sure.
Deal.
Braggy.
But yeah, she's really like holding it down.
Oh, man.
As a working woman, we don't know what she does, right? But she's definitely going to.
Yeah.
definitely has
I don't
to
think
have
they
dry cleaning.
clarify what she's doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but it's like a professional.
But again, like you
job.
said, it's from the perspective of Elliot. So, like, why would he care what she does for a living?
Yeah.
She just
Imagine
goes to
even
work, right?
Yeah. And then so
And
dad's
she's
they're
got
separated.
kids of a huge age range.
Right?
She's got like basically a freshman in high school, a middle schooler, and a 5-year-old.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like that's a big range.
a
And
lot
she
to
seems
deal
so
with.
young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked the. Sorry, were you still laying
Oh
something
no.
out?
I was also going to talk about the 80s just cavalier parenting
Oh, sure.
of like stay here, I got to go.
Yeah.
Just watch TV for 10 minutes. I have to go back to school.
Right.
And just leave it. I guess I got left home when I was sick.
Oh, yeah.
When I was probably about Elliot's age.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And I broke my
I
arm.
for sure did.
It's fine.
Yep.
You broke your arm while being left at home?
That was like we got home before my mom.
Uh-huh.
Molly, my parents were divorced.
Molly, my parents were also divorced. Just so we're clear, as we continue to talk about the family dynamics of this movie, Dan and I have a specific lens of analyzing this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I broke my arm because my brother and I would get home from school before my mom would
Sure.
go from work, right? Because
Can relate.
work and school
Yep.
timetables work. And maybe I've already told this story on the podcast.
You
I don't
might
know.
have.
I was dicking around with one of those grabby robot arms.
Yep.
Trying to get my brother's attention off my lofted bed. No big deal.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
So
California.
is it so you could open the windows and get a better Pacific breeze? Is that why it was off
That
there?
ocean
Yeah.
spray. And then I just tipped over the edge and fell down and broke my forearm.
Oops.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's hard.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. Still would have happened if my mom had been there downstairs or whatever. Like,
Speaking of divorced families and the
Yeah.
family dynamics presented in this movie, but aren't too heavy-handed, I again talking about the screenplay. I really appreciated how well they established sort of the dynamic of the household with very little. There wasn't a lot to it. Like there wasn't a lot of dialogue. There wasn't, but just in that moment where. Like when they're having that meal and you first kind of start to learn about what's going on in their house, like where Elliot says something kind of snippy about how like, oh, Dad would have something. Like maybe believed him about the monster or something
And then
like that.
her voice already starts to break when she says, maybe you should call him.
Yeah. And then like the part where she walks away
And then he says,
his older,
I can't. He's in Mexico with Sally.
Yeah.
Oh, gut punch. And his big brother gives him that look.
Yeah. Well, that's the part that I found the most like, oh, wow, they just accomplished a lot with one line. Because like his older brother is just like, oh, why don't you grow up and think about other people for once?
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's real as hell.
Yeah.
yeah. But also that brother was being a real dick to him. Like, so maybe he should think about
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
feelings
Also,
too.
speaking of authentic family moments, we totally must mention that Elliot calls his older brother penis breath,
Oh, yeah.
and his mom like is trying to discipline him, but also can't help but laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
It's the
good.
exact
That was
right
good.
reaction.
That was like totally a genuine response. Like, why wouldn't she laugh? How could you not laugh?
All of the acting in this movie was so good. And Drew
Everyone is good.
Barrymore is
Drew, so
incredible.
good.
She's so good.
So good. Just all over the place with her emotions. Very convincing,
Yeah, very natural.
natural.
Like she's not precocious in any sort of.
she's not like annoying younger sibling where it's just like, I'm the younger sibling and this is my deal.
Yeah.
That are in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least a lot of movies we've watched. I feel like a lot of like
Certainly
late
sitcoms.
90s kind of movies where it's just like the little sibling is always just like, this is my identifying feature and now I'm just a part of this scene to add a little flavor. Whereas she was just like, just another pretty
Even the way
fleshed
she
out.
ate the steak, she just sort of had it
Yeah.
like impaled it with a fork. It
Yeah.
was kind of gnawing on the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
That's really good.
She's very, very cute.
She's very cute. Also, in that early scenes, we should talk about how they treat the pizza that they have.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
Very
is-
upsetting to
There's-
all of us.
It's disturbing.
As a pizza-centric podcast,
Yes.
I feel like we have to address this.
This podcast is only about pizza.
Because I don't know if we've ever, I think in the, 5 years we've been doing this, I don't know if we've ever had a movie that took such a cavalier approach to pizza.
I mean,
Like it's trash.
it was just discarded on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, okay, can we talk about first of all the liberties that Elliot takes even carrying it? I got on his baseball glove,
Yep.
indoor softball with the softball in it, and he's balancing this pizza on top.
On the glove.
Pizza
on top of the glove.
Not even glove on
should
box.
be held with
No.
2 hands at all times
And
and
he's
treated
like-
with respect.
Yeah. And you
Just-
are welcome to use the box to carry your other items because
Yeah.
it's so sturdily
yeah, you
designed.
put your
Yeah.
stuff on top of the pizza
Yeah.
box.
Exactly. And just with one hand going all the way up this very steep
Elliot.
incline.
Yep.
Yeah. Then he doesn't take the pizza inside right away so people can have a hot pie.
Yeah.
He goes and he's dicking around in the backyard looking
'Cause he
for
hears something.
his rubble alien out
Yep.
there,
Here's the rubble.
and then freaks out and drops it, which is like
That's an accident.
it's an accident. Okay, we'll forgive it.
We
But
might
he
be okay.
Steps on it.
He runs back and
runs.
trips on the box.
Yeah.
No,
and
but he steps
on it.
like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
solidly in the middle.
Yeah, and then he leaves it behind.
No, he doesn't even pick it up and try to revive it.
And at that point, I was ready to forgive this movie because I'm just like, Elliot is a small boy. He is scared.
Yeah.
Like he is,
Okay,
you
yeah.
know, it's dark out. It's always foggy. There's corn. I get it.
Yeah.
But then he gets his whole family out there,
Including
Literally
all those Dungeons and
everybody
Dragons jerks.
steps
Yeah.
over the pizza to
They
investigate
don't
the
even.
tool shed.
And they were talking about the pizza like they were looking forward
Yeah,
to
they were
it.
so upset that he didn't bring in the pizza. And not until they turn around does one kid open it up and go like, "Oh, nice going, Elliot." Takes out one slice.
Yeah,
And then you're like, this kid's going to pick up the rest.
No, they just leave it there.
Just
leaves it
leave
behind.
it.
I think this, I think probably Spielberg sat with this movie for a long time.
Yeah.
And upon rewatching it, was inspired for Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, I'm
It's like
listening.
the pizza is like Private Ryan, and it's left behind out there in enemy territory.
yeah.
So you would
Danger
make
all
the
around.
analogy of E.T. being left behind?
No, E.T. ends up fine, right?
Yeah.
It's the pizza that's abandoned out there.
Matt Damon
No
ends
one's-
up fine.
No one's looking out for the pizza.
Yeah, it was really poignant at the end of this movie where it cuts to the pizza decades later, tear-stricken and thanking, I don't know, Greg.
Well, we don't even know who saves the pizza.
Oh,
'cause
right.
No one does it in this movie.
Keys? You think
No.
Keys saved it?
Maybe. We
No.
never see that
Harvey.
pizza
I bet
again.
Harvey saved it.
Plus,
And
I mean, on top of that, to only order one pizza for a
like-
bunch of teens playing D&D.
But and they weren't even allowed to
Oh,
order.
that's why
so
they
it
only
turns
ordered one.
I
out.
guess
Because
that's
it's
all the
just
money they
teens.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they scraped together all their money to buy a pizza.
And they just leave it on the ground.
It really
And
doesn't
the mom
make sense.
didn't even
box-
go back to be like, I'm going to teach you a life lesson. This pizza's perfectly good.
Yeah.
The cheese is just on the box. Scrape it off.
And
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear because I'm sure there's
Respect your
some-
pizza.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some motherfuckers out there who would like to yell at us already when we don't know that E.T. ate Reese's or whatever.
Reese's Pieces.
They are thinking to themselves, "Oh, it's gross ground pizza. The box is never
It's
open.
completely
it's
intact.
completely sealed. It's just a little squished because a little boy's foot fell on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The outside of the
a
box.
child's
A
foot.
child's foot. That's maybe 1.5 slices.
Not even like
get squished.
Keys boots or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the G-Man stepped on the pizza, yeah, it's probably just ruined
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Maybe
Or
you
if
could
the box were open.
Yeah, but no.
Plus, Greg wants pepperonis on it.
What?
Multiple.
Wait, what's your problem with Greg in this situation?
Just you don't say pepperonis.
oh,
You say pepperoni.
shut up, Greg.
Shut up,
Greg
Greg.
is the honestly the literal worst.
Yeah.
Well, that was all
It's
inexplicable.
hard to watch.
I just realized Greg is the bad guy of this movie. Because he leaves that pizza behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he's got those weird headphones.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
doesn't appreciate the magic of his flying bike. He's the one who's like, "Oh, tell me when it's over."
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on, Greg. This is
Get
a
it
miracle.
together.
Greg, this is reality,
Yeah,
Greg.
it is reality, Greg. And you're one of the 4 or 5 children to ever experience it, and you're
Yeah.
trying to just ignore it.
I bet he talks about it forever.
now,
I bet
yeah.
like when he's in his
Oh,
50s,
yeah.
he's
Oh,
still
yeah.
sitting around the bar and people are like, shut up, Greg. He's like, no, I'm telling you about that time.
Yeah. Oh, we get it.
Get it.
The squash
But he probably spends
guy.
like most of his time talking about the sweet bike moves he made and then just
Probably.
barely mentions the flying through the air thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. He talks about all the extreme stunts he did to get away from the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Well, that stunt
Greg is the
segment
worst.
was very good.
They were
Yeah,
very extreme.
Greg is
Those
the
kids were
worst.
very extreme. And I am spelling that X hyphen
Yeah.
treme.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
They run away from the cops. with
Probably
guns.
whoever was watching it was like, you know what? Those extreme kids look thirsty. I'm going to invent
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The most extreme beverage there is.
Yeah.
They saw
They were
them in
like, do the do.
they saw them in the fog.
Except you, Greg.
The foggy mountains, the dew-covered mountains of
yeah.
That's the
California.
Mountain Dew.
There it is.
Northern-ish California, based on where Elliot pointed on the map.
Yeah. it was like-
Sacramento.
It was like the corner
I
of
guess they're like
California.
I guess they're a bike ride away from Redwood, so they have to be in Northern California, right?
Yeah.
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 Well, mystery solved.
Mystery solved. We wondered if this would be the edited version without
Right.
terrorists and guns,
Correct.
and it was not.
It was not.
Yes.
And it was fine.
Because apparently, Dan reads Wikipedia. Steven Spielberg did that, and then kind of lazily disavowed it in 2011. Where now he's sort of like, just watch the one from 1982.
Which I actually feel like is kind of a big deal for like a big time director not to really double down on a dumb move.
His own choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, to be like, we should change it, and then be like, okay, actually, it was a bad idea.
yeah.
That's more rare than being like, no, I'm a genius.
George Lucas would never go back on something.
No.
And
No.
he's had some really bad ideas.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you know,
The Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg is greter than George Lucas.
Wow.
Come at me, nerds.
people
Actually, please don't.
probably-
Please be
Most
careful.
people probably agree with you on that. right? I don't know. Spielberg's out there making deals, producing stuff,
Making a variety of films.
variety of films.
You read his filmography and it's like,
It's
all
all
right.
over the place.
Yeah. Oh, I think I had made some sort of bet around Steven Spielbergness
Oh,
of the
yeah,
various
yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
There was some really good stuff. There was a
Yes.
lot of like reflection work and some framing of Elliot work.
Some very compelling, just like lighting choices.
Oh, gosh, that shed.
Yeah, right?
That shed out back. I mean, to
crescent
Beth's
moon?
point, do they just
Yeah.
leave that light on all the time?
guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess
It
so.
has to, but it looks so atmospheric and
Maybe
cool.
it's,
and why
maybe-
is there a cornfield? Why is
Why not?
It's
You can grow anything in California.
they should have moved from that house.
yeah?
You don't think
Never-
they planted the
never-
corn?
No.
I don't know. With Dad out in Mexico, I'm sure they can't afford to.
Maybe
up
Dad
and-
planted the
I
corn
bet
and then
Dad did plant the
left.
corn.
Just as a reminder.
Yep.
Ugh.
I bet that's what
He's the
happened.
bad guy.
Sounds like a bad
Ooh,
dad.
I like that
Oh,
take.
you know what though?
Dad's the
Oh
bad
God!
guy.
Do they smell his shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they do
yeah.
smell it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
Elliot.
want to see E.T. 2, where Keys becomes new dad.
No.
New Dad Keys.
I just felt like there was some
He
chemistry
checked out
happening. He was
Mary.
checking out
That doesn't.
Mary.
Okay.
He's
He-
not ready.
He was very kind to the kids.
All right.
And he loves aliens, and they had a very bonding experience.
I'm gonna
I'm all
speak.
for Keys as new dad.
I'd like to speak as a Molly. I'm a child of divorce. I'd like to speak as a child of divorce who lived with his mom a lot and dealt with men. Just because you're generally polite and try to be understanding that you just want to be best friends with your squishy alien doesn't mean that you are the right fit for this family. Maybe you gave your mom some companionship when things were stressful, like when there were a bunch of tube men coming around your house. And you just needed another adult chaperone to bring all the children back home from the foggy woods after the alien goes home. But that is not enough to create a stable foundation for a relationship long term.
How
Yeah.
about ET2, where Mary and Keys just have a wild fling?
I'm fine with them having
Spend some time
I'm fine with
together.
them still being like, if they still hang out and they like have a thing, they have some sort of relationship. I disagree with him being new dad though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying like immediately new dad. I'm saying like maybe
That's
they're like,
like ET4 or
whoa,
5.
this thing is crazy that just happened to us. And then they like kind of keep in touch. And then it's like, hey, Keys is going to be in town. We're going to go out for pizza and respect that pizza.
Man.
And Keys is like, hey kids, this is how you treat a pizza.
Okay, I agree with pizza etiquette.
And she's like, oh my God, look at how he is with my kids and treats them about respecting
but
pizza.
see, I would say at this point, at least, what's the older kid's name?
Mike.
At least Mike would be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
If she was like, oh, Keys is in town, we're going out for pizza, he'd be like, fuck Keys and fuck pizza.
Yeah, he'd get on his bike and ride.
Like, I had trouble enough just having to have a conversation with some of these men when I was Mike's age. So the idea of just being forced to be told how to engage with pizza?
But maybe
You're going to tell me what to do, Keys?
maybe Mike likes Keys because of this bonding experience that they all had
No,
together.
I don't
God,
think Mike
Beth,
likes.
are you
I
even
don't know.
Just want
respecting my perspective here?
I just
don't
want
think you
Mary
are.
to find happiness.
Are you-
She's
See,
so
this is a
sad.
She's finding fulfillment in her children, in her work, in the fact that she's one of the few civilians to have ever seen an alien life form.
It was on her bathroom floor.
Yeah, that's a story. Maybe she's really into corn. Maybe she planted the corn.
Maybe.
It was so much corn. It was like an industrial amount of corn.
What? No, it was like an acre.
But it's not like in your backyard. You would just plant a little
I
bit
don't
of
know.
corn.
It seemed like a half-developed neighborhood. Maybe they're just like, oh, you'll just plant some corn here. Who gives a shit? Maybe.
I feel like the house is just like up against corn.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they planted it.
Okay, so you
the
think
way
like
she's up against her marital situation.
Yeah.
right?
She wants to be up against Keys.
Oh my God, Beth. You just want her to be defined by her relationship with a man.
She
Wow.
is still
That's-
grieving
Yeah,
for
she
sure.
is.
I just want her to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I
And a
see.
woman can't have a good time
I
without a man.
see.
No.
What?
Okay.
No.
That was too much.
Well, she's you've got too far.
Yeah, you've gone too far.
Boy. All right, let's talk about how I was right about E.T. gets drunk on Coors.
Oh
Heavy.
yeah,
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was regular course.
banquet.
Yeah, he gets drunk at home and like watches TV. I love that he's wearing a flannel shirt
Yep.
that looks like
Yep.
a robe.
Agreed.
He
And
looks
he's
like the
just-
Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
like-
just
Rubbling around inside
With Harvey the
candy.
dog. Oh, good
Harvey's
dog.
there. They're best
Harvey's
friends.
real.
They're learning English.
Yep.
But then Elliot gets drunk at school and frees all the frogs.
Yeah.
Did you guys dissect frogs?
No.
As
We
youths?
dissected pigs.
Oh God.
fetal pigs.
Fetal pigs, yeah.
Classic.
Oh, we dissected worms, and that was plenty.
But
for
ours
me.
were like, I mean, these weren't like, we didn't chloroform pigs, and obviously 'cause they're fetuses. But
That's
my
so
dad said that when he was in
awful.
high school, they dissected hibernated frogs like that, where the heart was still beating.
That's so
I think our
sad.
frogs are already dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did they come in like plastic wrap with formaldehyde? And
Probably.
You had to cut it
I don't
open?
remember. I remember cutting it
worm
open,
did.
but not how they appeared before.
Yeah, our teacher prepped them before we got to class, so they were already out on the tables. The
I
pigs.
feel like I
mean.
remember having to like put the. It's so visceral to me because it's probably I've seen it in movies, but the having to pin back
Yeah.
the skin, like
Yeah.
you do the scalpel with the eye shape, and then you.
Yep.
Oh God,
Yeah. Kids still dissect stuff?
Great question.
I don't know. I can't imagine the
Probably depends on the
liability.
district, right?
Probably private school kids do.
Maybe, but maybe they like just have someone else dissect it for them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, like watch like a video.
Yeah.
They,
I
like-
mean, it
they,
is a
like,
cool
pay some
experiential
of the-
thing.
Yeah.
Jeeves, come in here and dissect
Right.
this
Yeah.
frog for me.
Classic private school kid.
But yeah, I do appreciate that Elliot. I like that. What we learned in this movie is that E.T. Okay, here's what we learned about E.T. and Elliot of what kind of drunks they are. So E.T. is the kind of drunk who's just very relaxed. Like he's just like ready to nap like right away.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like he's loaded up. He's feeling good. He's just gonna chill.
And
Yeah.
he gets the munchies, right?
Yeah.
Does he?
Well, he was hungry before he
yeah.
had
Okay.
the
And
beer.
then
I
he
think
just
he's like
slammed back
hanging
those
out in the
doors.
kitchen
Elliot,
with his head on the table.
Yeah, oh, that was so good. Where he's just like, that's where you can tell he's just like, oh, what have I done?
He's like,
But he's still kind of having a good time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Elliot though is like he's definitely the kind of drunk who would just like if he saw like if you met him at the bar, he
Yeah.
would like be like, hey, and he'd come hug you even if he's not really that much of a hugger when he's
Yeah.
sober.
Yeah.
Just because he had like so many strong emotions about the state of the frogs, you know.
It's just like it turned up his feeling personality.
Yeah, which then got a little problematic.
Do you have friends who are drunks who just start running?
Yeah, I have one.
I've heard of this before.
Yeah, I have one.
Just take off.
Yeah, I have one. He doesn't do it as much anymore, but it was a thing for a few years where we just had to deal with it.
It's like a very special category of drunk.
But it's like across, like many people do this.
Yeah. It's not.
What's the incentive? What's like, I gotta run?
I don't know. Maybe it's just like, I'm so. I mean, I can ask him next time I see him, I guess. But
Just feeling loose.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you're just feeling so loose, you just want to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Get those muscles going.
At any rate, yeah. But Elliot was hilarious drunk.
Yeah.
Although I didn't care for.
That's what I'm saying. It gets a little
Gets a
problematic
little
at the end.
problematic.
Grabbing who I think was she the one credited as hot girl?
Pretty
Pretty
girl.
girl.
Pretty girl.
I assume she was credited as pretty girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a single line.
She says, hi, Elliot.
She does.
Yeah.
I wish that she would have. I wish they would have established like a little bit more of them liking each other.
An actual relationship.
Yeah.
They were like flirting.
They were definitely flirting. They
Whoa.
kept looking at each other. So I think, like, to me, I'm like, oh, they've been flirting all school year.
But it would have been nice if Elliot had been like, hi, Sarah, or
Yeah.
whatever. How was your, like, what are you,
Yeah.
what did you do for what are you doing for Halloween? What are you going as?
But
no.
she's also like, I mean, she doesn't like say out loud, like, yes, you can kiss me. But like, she's leaning into the kiss. Like, she wasn't like,
Yeah, but he did, like, grab her and, like,
There was like
twirled her around like a
twirled her.
romantic
and
film.
then stepped on another boy. to kiss
Yeah, that
her.
was weird.
Which was pretty funny.
But
and
that,
weird.
yeah,
But
it's
then-
kind of cute because
and
he's
then
so
they have her,
short.
like,
She's so much
leg
taller
turn
than
in.
him.
Oh, really?
You
Oh,
know,
right.
they
at
do
the
that
end.
thing at
And then
the
all the
end.
frogs come in. It was a little
Yeah,
weird.
it was like a little bit like 1940s fantasy kind of moment. It just really, to me, I think what upset me about it is it played more for adults than kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the movie is very much like within, like you said,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like the movie is very much like through his perspective.
Yeah.
It felt to me like Spielberg being like, I love film. He's like, oh, I want to replicate this scene
Yeah.
shot for shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I wasn't like, ooh. I was more like, oh, he really wanted to like make that
Do
scene.
you think that scene inspired the fish fucking movie that Del Toro made a couple years ago?
What?
Wow.
Oh,
Because it's like
God, I
the
hated
love
that
of
movie.
film,
Sorry,
romance,
everyone who
Never
liked
saw
it.
but also like
The Story
aquatic
of Water.
creatures.
What was it
Yeah.
called?
Yeah.
The Shape
in
of
the
Water.
Shape of Water.
No, that's the Shyamalan movie. But I wonder if that scene inspired literally that whole movie of just like, oh, aquatic creatures and the love of film and
Yeah,
romance.
maybe. I did not like that movie. I was really sad that it won the Oscar. Sorry, everyone who liked it.
It's fine. It was fine. But it was also a movie about movies, so of course it won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Hey, Oscars,
Cool.
you're irrelevant. Cool it.
Wow.
But also you're not relevant because
Yeah.
it helps people get their...
Just give all your statues to John Wick 3 this year.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the other two a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure the third one deserves it.
It delivers.
I'm told there's a horse. I'm very excited about
Yeah.
that.
Keanu
horse in
weaponizes
danger?
a horse.
I don't think so. I think it's just like his
Oh no,
buddy,
the horse
right?
kicks ass.
Hell yeah. Now
That's
I definitely have to
amazing.
watch
Is
the
it in
third
danger
one.
before it kicks ass?
I mean, isn't any animal associated with John Wick inherently in danger?
Well, that's what worries me.
Yeah.
Although in the
I
second
was not
one-
concerned for the horses.
The second one, he actually takes his dog and puts it out of harm's way. Good
Okay.
job, John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I
a
mean,
good
way to
dog
learn.
owner.
You learned the hard way.
Oh,
Sorry, we don't
jeez.
talk. We can't talk about Harvey the dog in this movie, the best
Oh,
dog
yeah.
in the world.
Oh, the best dog.
Such a
He's
good
such a good
dog.
dog.
Bandana.
Yeah.
He even says goodbye and almost tries to go with
That
E.T.
may have been my favorite part of the movie. Where, like they have this emotional, like E.T. has a moment with every kid, and they're having this slow little moment, and like literally the ramp is about to go up, and Harvey like books it to the ship, and for a second I actually like freaked out. I'm like, oh my god, is the dog gonna go to space with them? But no, he came back.
Yeah. We briefly talked about it, Molly, but do you want to make a final
Oh, yeah.
call on if that was E.T.'s mom picking him up or not?
You know, I've had to accept years ago that it was not his mom.
Okay.
But I can see why I thought that Because, it's just the one figure in
At
the window
first,
at
yeah.
first.
I think it could be his mom.
I think
it's
it-
ambiguous enough.
Or maybe
it
it's his
could be.
wife.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Or
Or just a very good colleague.
her wife.
Their,
Or
Their
wife.
spouse.
Their spouse.
It's
Maybe it's their
mate.
child.
Yeah. We don't know. And,
a
I
good
just think
close
to
friend.
me, I think it's less about what's in the movie and more about what my perspective was watching it.
yeah.
And I've talked to other people who also thought E.T.'s mom comes back at the end, who are about my age, who saw it about that time. I mostly feel floored that I saw this at such a young age because
Yeah.
it is scary. I would say the first 20 minutes are terrible. They're just awful. They're
How about the last
worst.
20
Yeah,
minutes?
how about the last
You were
20 minutes?
very upset during the
Yeah,
last
you were,
Oh.
you were on a roller coaster in the last few
I hated
minutes.
that so much. And I know how it ends.
Yeah.
I know he's going to be okay, but I was livid.
Yeah, when E.T. was like dying on the table, Molly was basically just.
I was alternating between crying and saying it was a stupid movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you did within the first 3 minutes of the movie. I believe you said, "This is sad. I hate this
Yes.
movie."
Correct. Yeah, not just I hate this scene.
No,
I hate
I
this
hate
movie.
this movie.
Yeah. While the G-men were just stomping around in puddles.
But he was so scared, Dan.
He was so
E.T. was
scared,
scared.
and he was all alone. It's very sad.
It was.
Anyway, if you want to watch this movie, I just recommend fast forward for the first 20 minutes.
I mean, I'd say watch the whole thing.
I also say you should watch the thing and feel all the feelings, which is like one of the low key lessons of this movie.
It's true.
Because Elliot is like, you must be dead because I don't know what to feel anymore.
Holy shit.
Whoa, man, Elliot
Yeah.
has some real
Yeah.
shit in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to our final ratings of the movie, we like to read a review of our own podcast, totesregal.com, in the impression of a character from the movie we
Yep.
have just watched,
Yep.
E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial.
Yes.
We do not have a review, so we will not be doing that.
You could have gotten E.T. You could have
Yeah.
gotten
Okay.
Greg. You could have gotten.
Shut up, Craig.
Mike could have gotten Keys.
Yep. You could have gotten.
Astronaut zombies.
Could have gotten Drew Barrymore.
Aw.
Gertie.
I think her name was just Gert.
They called her Gertie a couple times.
Really?
One of them did. One of her siblings did at least.
Okay, good for them.
Yeah. So, how we felt. Dan, you gave it a 3, thinking like, hey, culture likes this, but I don't trust culture.
Yeah.
Oh, these are Reese's Pieces Rubble Rubble
Thank
Rubble,
you.
which are sentient Reese's Pieces that say Rubble Rubble Rubble.
Yes, correct. Which I guess is why they were able to lure E.T. back to Elliot's home after
That's
he
right.
scattered them through the woods.
Speaking his
because they
language.
were
Yeah.
speaking his language.
They're like, this way.
Rubble,
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 rubble, rubble, rubble.
Yeah, it was. No, it was actually like a very genuinely well-made and heartfelt movie that I enjoyed. I did not. The pop culture is not wrong. It's a very authentic film, and I can see why it's such a big deal, and why it's sort of like I can see why I should see why Spielberg is like, this is just the logo for my production company now. Fuck you.
Oh, Amblin was the name of his first movie.
Nice. Was it about cowboys?
I don't know.
Okay.
But that was the name of his first movie.
Tweet at us. Amblin.
Steven Spielberg.
Oh, yeah. Steven
Or
Spielberg
Channing
or Channing Tatum. Please tweet at us and tell us the plot of your movie, Amblin.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, yeah, screw it. 5
Yeah.
Rubble Reese's.
Oh.
I thought it was
Rubble.
a gem. A
Wow.
gem of film.
When
Yeah.
was the last time you gave a movie a 5?
I don't know.
Wow.
Beth?
Why are you asking me?
I don't know,
Are you saying it's your turn now, or are you asking me when's the
Either
last time
way,
you
I'm
gave?
just rolling the dice.
I feel like there's a movie we recently saw that we all gave 5s to, but I can't remember.
Oh
what
yeah,
it
there was a movie that we were like going around and getting all 4 for 5, and then we pressured Molly, I think, into pushing hers to 5 so that we could do it.
Yeah, that seems right. Yeah, I really liked this movie.
Do you want to know what you predicted?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I got too excited to give my rating.
It was 4.
Okay.
You thought they good, but not great.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I do feel that way. There's something about I think it's a really great movie. But I also am not drawn to it. Like I'm not like, oh, I gotta see this movie again all the time.
Sure.
So in that
Do you
way,
feel that way about other movies?
yeah, there's some movies that I'll watch like over and over and over again.
Okay.
So I'm going to say 4.5.
That poor Reese's.
Poor half Reese's.
They're like worms.
Reese's.
It's fine.
Yep.
Do you think that worms don't die when you cut them in half?
I thought they stayed alive.
They do?
Yeah,
they
they
can
just
grow.
both parts. They just grow
You
the
can
other
eat
part.
2 worms.
As long as it's severed in a way where there's enough, I don't know, neural matter or whatever, they'll just kind of heal up and go on their merry way. Maybe not all worms, some worms though.
Yeah, that's true for some worms. Mm-hmm. Yes, some worms
Yes, some worms.
can be cut in half and make 2 worms.
That's our hashtag. That's the official hashtag of this episode. Am I
Whoa.
blowing your mind right now?
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like that's a thing that I used to know, and now it's like all coming back to me. I learned this as a child
Do you
when
think you
I was.
dissected one in high school?
I mean, I've definitely cut a worm in half before.
Beth,
Wow,
Jesus.
Beth.
Wow.
It's the first sign of a serial killer.
Yeah.
For a worm?
Okay. Wow, Beth.
Aren't they usually mammals for cereal?
I don't know if it's like a species specific thing.
That's
I
the
think
second
we're
step.
safe. I feel like we're really safe with Beth.
Yeah, I feel safe around
It's
Beth.
the second sign of a serial killer.
Oh no!
Safety first.
What, Beth? Why are you bringing out that tray of milk and butter sandwiches?
No reason.
Ooh, there was almost E.T. almost drank milk.
Oh,
Anyone
yes.
like any lotion?
Jesus Christ! Yeah, E.T. did almost drink milk, but he knocked it over. Or no, Elliot knocked it over when he was trying to find stuff to give to E.T.
Oh,
yeah.
right. He was looking for
He
it.
got
and then
scared
E.T.
'cause
got
the umbrella.
scared. Yeah.
That's right.
He got scared by proxy through the bond that E.T. like forced upon him. Maybe it was unclear.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
It's
I
fine.
think they just connected.
They just
I think
connected
just
in a
imprinted.
powerful space
Yeah.
telepathic way. Okay, cool.
I thought it would be 5. It was great. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. This is a great movie.
Hey,
Steven Spielberg really did it. And everybody else involved. It's just like it's like pleasant and
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, I don't know if I'm like gonna go watch it every day.
No.
But that's
No.
0 movies. But it just does it all. Hey, it does it all. Got something for everybody, like the movie Ghost.
so it is a romp.
I guess so.
Okay.
I mean, are there romp parts?
I
I
don't
mean,
know
it's
if
a
there's really
romp
romp
if
parts.
Keys and Mom end up at the end.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, too. I am kind of surprised there hasn't been like there never was like a shitty ET2.
There was discussions of it. Dan reads Wikipedia.
No.
There were discussions of it.
Just seems like they would have cashed in. I
Yeah.
assume this movie did well.
Oh,
Yeah.
it did
Oh,
incredibly
yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Great. 5.
5.
Sticking to it. Molly,
Awesome.
4.5. You thought it'd be sort of too long and you might be scared by the G-men.
Yeah.
I mean that's
Accurate.
second part at least for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It went by really fast. And it's funny because I really thought that the Halloween scene happened after the G-men, but it doesn't. I mean, their G-men are throughout. But at the beginning, they are especially scary. Beginning is so scary, and the end is so sad.
Not the end though, right?
I mean, the end is fine, but it also made me cry.
Sure. I mean it's
Yeah, it's touching.
it's
It's
bittersweet
touching.
for sure.
It was a lot. And, I mean, good for that movie. And also, I think, I kind of wonder if there's a quality missing from modern movies or modern as of today's standards where you just don't get these vignettes of like real family life. Like something happened where kids are now precocious and funny in a really kind of self-conscious writerly way.
Yeah, for sure.
That it really made me think about like Karate Kid and like how authentic that mother-son relationship was. Anyway, I love the screenplay. I just really loved, and I love the family, and I love the casting. And I think I just loved too much, which is what made it painful.
Oh, real quick,
Yeah.
did you find your empathy with E.T. was more like when an animal gets harmed, or did you feel like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was just a character that
No.
you liked a lot?
No. It was full on. It was the same. It was almost worse.
It was like if Norman the calf had reached out and said, "Mom."
Oh my God. Exactly. Well, and also if Norman had no context for anything that was happening,
Yeah,
like I even
right.
felt for E.T. when he was being shown all of the toys.
Yeah, he didn't know. What the
I was
fuck
just
going
like,
on.
what is going? This is too
He
much,
tried
man.
to eat a car for God's sake.
He was hungry,
Yeah.
and he was so good at communicating. And like when he reaches out and puts those Reese's Pieces, like he's, and I mean, I'd say the biggest critique I can possibly think is that Thick Williams felt like he was the role of E.T. telling us how to feel
Right.
with that heavy, heavy-handed music.
Yeah.
And sometimes it sounded a little Star Warsy. I'll say it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most
Yeah.
of his stuff sounds a little
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, but also he's incredibly talented.
Sure.
I get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, 5.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't need Thick Williams because of the incredibly expressive work
Yeah.
of one Henry T. Cresthorn.
Yeah.
Puppets and costumes.
Henry?
Hank is short for Henry.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
I mean,
Really?
it doesn't make
Wow.
any sense. I don't know how you get Hank.
It's
from
just
Henry.
like the way Jim doesn't make sense from James.
It makes more sense than Hank.
I don't know.
At least you've got J vowel M still.
That's true.
Bill from Williams, the worst one. Get
Even
out of here
that though,
changing
it's
the
like at
first
least it's
letter.
just like, but at least everything else is the same. Will Bill, it's not that far. Hank is like
There
just out
has
of nowhere.
there has to be one that's weirder than that.
Oh, yeah.
What about Betsy from Elizabeth?
That's it's a stretch.
I think I've never understood that.
What about
one.
Peggy?
Peggy? That's a good
From
one.
For
Elizabeth?
Margaret?
No.
From Margaret.
No, I mean for Elizabeth, that'd be bananas.
Either one.
Peggy is a perfect example of one
Peggy's
that
the
makes
worst one.
no sense. Like, where does that even come from?
I don't know. Maggie.
Margaret.
There's
Maybe it
not
was
even
like-
a P in
Maybe it was
Margaret.
like Margaret, then
Maybe it's
Maggie,
like a when
then
you know when the
Maggie,
little
then
kid
Maggie, then
can't
Peggy. They
say
just went down the alphabet.
You and kids can't pronounce things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Margaret, Peggy.
I mean, that tracks. That definitely tracks. No question.
Yeah.
You cracked it. You cracked it. Mike.
Oh, real quick, and
Yep.
maybe we'll just take this out. Speaking of Karate Kid, there was also a terrifying clown
Yes.
in this movie
Yes.
in
Is
the
this
background.
the dad? Or is that what you're trying to going for?
God.
Do you think Mexico with Sally actually meant I was befelled by a clown curse?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my
No.
God.
Mom's so
No.
emotional, she's trying to keep it in because dad's been turned into a clown.
Yep.
Lives in Elliot's room.
Yep. No wonder she can't handle ashy E.T. on the bathroom floor. Like, I've got enough weird shit happening in my life. And Beth wants some stranger to just come in and fuck the confusion away. So that everything's fine. Even
Why
though,
didn't say
even though
that?
her children are just trying to find some stability with their
Wow.
one parent
Wow.
that they already
You
know.
assumed that I was talking about a sexual
You
relationship.
literally said you wanted romping. You said you wanted...
Okay, when I think this is an actual thing, when I think of the word romp, I think of skipping through a park, a field of flowers, a la Robin Hood.
So you wanted her and Keys to skip through a park.
Yeah, I wanted her to like have a nice time with an adult companion because she was left
Okay, but also like...
by her
Nice time with an
horrible
adult
husband.
companion.
Like an adult
That sounds-
time, like an
They can
adult,
have an adult time if they want, and they're both very happy to do
yeah,
so.
like the foxes in Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they banged.
That was a romp to bang scenario.
RTP.
Wow.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.